Welcome to Unlearning, where we go behind the curtain for an insider's perspective on the theater industry, break down the buzzworthy conversations on social media, and challenge the stigmas that hold us back. I'm Veronica Stern, and together we're unlearning and redefining what it means to thrive in the business. Now it's time to rewrite the script. Hello, wonderful people of the world, and welcome to the Unlearning podcast. Today is a very different episode because I'm sitting down with my dad.
Hello, everybody.
We're going all the way back to the beginning of the inception of the podcast for the Stern family, and we're going to do a little Stern Spiel throwback episode. Thank you for being on the podcast, Dad.
You're quite welcome.
I'm very excited for this. Should I tell them why?
Well, a little background, because the more people watching now, and not everybody remembers the Stern Spiel. So
okay, yes. So the Stern Spiel was a podcast that my dad and I did for a little bit. We did it for a good amount of time, like a few months.
There was more than that. It was a couple of different cycles of it, and I think it arced over a year. And I think by the time we got done, it was probably 30 episodes.
So we did it for quite some time. We kind of what is it called when like when a series gets like
canceled? Cancellation.
Okay, I guess it got canceled on the series of things we were working on because we had some creative differences.
Fair to say.
I was kind of sick of talking about pop culture every week.
And we were also talking about
politics.
Political figures a lot, too.
Yeah, and I just had no interest. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know what I was talking about. So, it just, wasn't worth our time.
The way I explained it to people is you got tired of talking to your dad.
No, Dad, I didn't get tired of talking to you. We just, didn't... It was, destroying our relationship.
It wasn't good. It wasn't ideal, but...
We were fighting every week about it because I was like, we need to do this. No, we need to do that. And it was just
But it was successful because the exact format that we were doing that show in turned out to be very applicable and useful and usable by Unlearning with Veronica Stern, the Broadway podcast.
Yep.
And so you just changed the content topics, changed the guests, or really you brought in a guest rather than just having two hosts. And, that was a significant difference. But in every other respect, it's exactly the same set. It's the same show. It's the same everything. Even in terms of the structure of of each session. And it works.
It totally works now, and I'm so excited. We've done, I think 12 episodes are out in the world right now. We have 2 more that I'm recording next week. But I think the hardest part about it so far is juggling all of the parts. So when you have a podcast and you're a big podcaster, there's a talent person that books the talent. There's a producer. There's the person that operates the camera. There's the editor. There's all of these things that I'm saying. That's 5 people alone. For Unlearning, it's me and my dad.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And we're doing all the stuff, the editing, the production, the booking, the editorial decisions, the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's been so much fun so far, but it has been a lot of work.
Yeah.
I've been really pleased with the reception so far of the podcast. So thank you all for listening, and I hope that you enjoy this episode.
And one thing that is different is you created a new YouTube channel.
No, I didn't. I put it on my regular YouTube, my Veronica Stern, but I called it Unlearning. So
you renamed an existing YouTube channel of your own. However, the Stern Spiel was on a different YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We are recording this episode today because I am going on a little business trip this week.
Exciting.
My first ever business trip with my new job.
It's a big deal.
And I know if you're listening to this, you're you literally traveled for work for almost 3 years. So why are you giddy about this business trip? But I'm going to Stagecoach, which by the time this episode comes out, I'll have been back from Stagecoach. So I'll maybe talk about it next week.
Stagecoach. Explain what that is.
So Stagecoach is the country music festival in Coachella Valley. So like there's 2 weeks of Coachella, and then there's like this one music festival called Stagecoach that's like the weekend after Coachella. And yeah, it's country music. I'm going with my job.
So it's like the country Coachella.
It's like the country Coachella, sure. It's a country music festival.
Okay.
I'm going with my job. I'm very excited. I like country music. Obviously, like, I'm not necessarily going because I like country music, but I'm just excited for like the opportunity, and just to go to Palm Springs is always fun. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it's an exciting business opportunity for you, social opportunity, potential. You don't know who you're going to meet there. You know, there could be all kinds of things going on. So it's exciting.
So what have you been feeling? So in case you didn't realize,
I got one question.
What?
Is it outdoors or indoors?
It's outdoors.
The whole thing is outdoors. Really?
How would it be indoors?
In an auditorium or in multiple auditoriums?
No. It's an outdoor music festival.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A different picture. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
with
it's
you.
like in the desert. Like it's going to be like 110 degrees.
But you're staying in a hotel.
Well, yeah, I'm staying in a hotel, but like when I go to the thing, it's going to be outside.
All outdoors.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was going to ask you, like, if you guys didn't realize this, my dad is the one that operates all of the equipment for the show. He also like listens to every episode that we do unedited, although most of my episodes are not edited. Like, you know, I don't take anything out. But what have your thoughts been on the show so far?
On Unlearning?
Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting because these people who you're interviewing have got stories to tell, and they're good storytellers because they're performers. So you're getting really rich, interesting content. I think it's working. I think that I noticed the difference between younger actors and more experienced people because now you've had some of both on the show. It's an interesting no, this show has a vibe. No question about it. I think it's on its way toward being a very successful show that will encourage people to be interested in Broadway. You know,
Yay.
I don't know. You have to say what the idea or the mission or the who your target audience is exactly. My perception of it is that your target audience is younger folks that maybe have certain perceptions of Broadway, what performing is all about.
Yep.
So some of the target is performers, some of the target is maybe people just interested in attending Broadway shows, and maybe have perceptions of what Broadway is about, and it's rethinking the audience of Broadway.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. And like, do you have a favorite episode so far? I think I know which one is your favorite.
Okay. I actually liked the episode with Chloe.
Chloe Hector?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that.
She was a trip.
Oh.
She was a trip. I don't know if that one was as Broadway oriented, but she's a performer.
Yeah.
And she had a lot of interesting things to say. She stands out. Nick stands out.
Yes, Nicholas Kraft.
He was very funny and a little more confident in himself because he's done a lot. And I liked his bit when he said he was talking about his experiences during the pandemic.
No, Dad, that's Nathan. You also called him Nick, remember?
Oh, yes. Oh, God, that was terrible. I felt so bad. Yes, Nathan. Nathan was talking about his experiences during the pandemic, and he said that, he was working from home. He was, like, doing auditions and prep work and stuff, and he said that he took
Equity 10.
He took an Equity 10 on his couch.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what an Equity 10 was, but it was funny. He's got a good sense of humor. You've had a lot of great people on there. I mean, I can't remember her name now, but she was the one who recently got a big role.
Haley?
No.
Fontaine?
Oh, Haley was a good guest too. Yeah, Haley was interesting. Yeah.
Wait, she recently got a big role?
Yeah. I can't remember her name. I'll think of it in a minute. But yeah, Haley was good. They were all good. You really haven't had a clunker. You haven't had a clunker. You haven't had anybody come in here and not have a story to tell.
Totally.
And to some extent, that's a comment on you as an interviewer. You've grown, I think, as an interviewer and asking questions. Yeah, and you know the subject matter, and you have energy for Broadway, and you know what you're trying to do, which is make people interested in going to see shows.
Yeah. So speaking of having an energy for Broadway, Variety magazine, or is it? I guess it's a magazine still. They do something called Actors on Actors. Every year, it's like this really cool kind of like industry thing that they do because they'll have like pretty big people talk to one another and like sit down kind of like this, but not like podcast format, more like sit down interview. So they'll have like, I think Zendaya did it with someone. I'm trying to think of one that you might know. Oh, you know Chloe Bailey?
No.
Okay. Okay, Margot Robbie.
No.
She was Barbie, Dad.
Okay, yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Margot Robbie and the guy that played Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Cillian Murphy, I think. They sat down for an Actors on Actors. So it's like a big like industry award season thing.
Okay, these are A-list people.
A-list, yeah. It's super A-list. So basically, Variety announced on Monday that they're doing Actors on Actors Broadway edition.
Okay.
And they're putting out all 5 episodes this week.
Time out. Did Actor on Actor Broadway edition not exist before?
No.
Okay, so this is a first time.
This is a first time.
1.0.
1.0. So they're doing Actors on Actors Broadway edition. They're doing 5 episodes. I did a little like preview thing. I put that out yesterday. I'm so excited for it. The first one came out yesterday, which was Tuesday. George Clooney and Patti LuPone.
Big names.
Yeah, you know who those people are.
Yes, of course I do. Yes.
It was such an interesting interview. I'm really excited because today is Audra McDonald.
And there's a political angle on it because George Clooney basically kneecapped Joe Biden.
Oh my God, it was very political. There was a lot of
Patti
politics.
Patti LuPone is kind of politically oriented.
She's politically oriented.
Yeah,
I was a little shocked by some of the things that were said in the interview. I was like, why did they leave this in? But maybe they thought nobody was going to listen that far. I don't really know. But I'm very excited because today's episode is Audra McDonald and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, big names.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal's in Othello right now.
Okay, huge. So these are huge interviews.
No, it's
right?
huge interviews.
And
I'm really excited for, I think, Jonathan Groff and Nicole Scherzinger are tomorrow.
So it's actor on actor. So does one interview the other?
It's like a conversation.
Is there a moderator?
No, there's no moderator.
Okay.
There's definitely like questions that they're given beforehand, but the format is like they just like sit and they ask each other questions about their experience on the movies or projects that they're working on, and then
So the Broadway edition of this is coming along.
It's this week, and hopefully next week I can do a little bit more of a breakdown of it because I'm watching every single one and taking notes.
I think you could have a series on that. Now, what are the where does one see this?
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
On whose channel? Like
Variety.
The Variety channel, because Variety is the sponsor of Actor on Actor. Okay, I'm following you now.
So
okay.
I'm very excited. I'm really looking forward to Nicole Scherzinger and Jonathan Groff because I think that will be really interesting. I'm like obsessed with Nicole Scherzinger. I think she's like so interesting.
You've mentioned Nicole Scherzinger in pretty much every episode of Unlearning. You know what else has come up?
I want to interview her.
You know what else has come up in almost every single episode? You know what I'm going to say.
What?
That program that kids do in high school.
Oh my God, the Jimmy Awards.
The Jimmy Awards. I never heard of it before. And then every kid comes in here and like these people are 25, 26, 27 years old and they're still talking about the Jimmy Awards from when they were 16. What is that? The
Jimmy Awards were they're still currently a thing. They're a high school musical theater award.
Right. And if you want to go back and see something hilarious, Haley's talking about the Jimmy Awards is a riot.
Yeah, that one did numbers on TikTok. It was insane, guys. Like, I was so happy because that was like exactly the audience that I'm trying to reach with the podcast. So I was so happy. But no, the Jimmy Awards are High School Musical Theater Award. the way that it works, it's like there's regional awards. So like in New York, it's called the Roger Rees Awards. And then the Jimmys are like the national award. And kids from all these different regions, or not regions, states, have their state awards. And then whoever wins that one comes to the Jimmy Awards. It's like a week-long thing in New York. And then they get to perform on a Broadway stage. One person gets wins. Actually, I think, is it like a boy and a girl wins? I don't know. That seems sort of binary for 2025. But regardless, one person wins the Jimmys, and then it's been the trend that whoever wins the Jimmy Awards kind of gets a leg up because, you know, then agencies are calling them and casting offices are calling them. So it's a very coveted like thing to like be a Jimmy Award winner.
Got it.
But even being just like a Jimmy Award finalist is like also pretty big.
But you didn't do it.
Nope. I wasn't nominated.
What happened?
I wasn't my name wasn't put in the thing for it.
But Sarah Liddy's was.
All right, Dad. Let's not bring that into it right now.
Okay. She was a guest on the show. And
We talked about it.
Right.
We talked about it. I was never. I don't think the shows were necessarily chosen around me in high school. So I wasn't. I was never worthy of it.
I got it. Okay. All right. Jimmy Awards.
But I think I turned out fine.
It worked out for you. Did other things.
What else should we talk about on this kind of truncated episode of Unlearning this week?
So Unlearning, what else you got coming up?
So much. I can't believe it's already almost May.
You got several people on the calendar. I've noticed my calendar filling up.
Yeah, so many people. I'm really excited for those episodes. I think that you guys will really enjoy them.
Yeah.
We have some like really exciting people coming up that I'm like really excited to talk to.
Right.
So yeah, just getting ready for those interviews. The Tony Awards are coming up soon.
When is that?
June. I think the
Tony Awards
first,
happen in June.
Yeah, the first weekend of June.
All right. So you'll have to have an episode where you break that down. You should get somebody on here who can help you break down, because there's a lot going on those award shows.
I am.
More than meets the eye.
Oh, like the behind the scenes.
BTS, but also
that's
like,
a good episode.
how things got nominated and the politics of the voting.
That's a good episode.
Endless things to talk about. Maybe even go down. Maybe do like a remote type of thing where you record. I don't know. Is there like a theater where it's shot?
I don't know where it's happening this year, but it used to be Radio City. But speaking of the Tony Award nominations, I'm doing a really special episode with a very special guest where we will be breaking down the Tony nominations when they come out. I believe May 1st they come out. That episode will be out May 4th or 5th. Right. So I'm so excited for that.
A lot going on, Veronica.
Because there's a lot going on in the Tonys this year.
You are really putting together, I want to say, we can end with this. Yep. I'm very proud of the way that you've put together this concept and you're executing against the plan, right? We had plans before, but the plans are now more sophisticated and more straight and narrow. And you've done that, and I'm proud of you for doing that. And I hope you can keep it going and just keep getting good guests and getting good content, and we'll figure out a way to produce it and make it look good and get it out to the world and get it distributed.
So guys, that's all we have for today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Thank you, Dad, for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to rate, review, like, subscribe, follow me on social media at Veronica Stern on Instagram and at that Milkshake NYC on TikTok.
And the YouTube channel is called
Unlearning with Veronica Stern, a Broadway podcast.
There you go.
I just added that last part.
I think that's very important. That was, again, that's because you're reaching out and you're talking to people and you're like figuring out how things really work. Yep. Thank you for having me as a guest back on here again.
Anytime.
All right.
Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Everybody.
Excellent. That was great, Dad.